Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jodi and I'm really glad that you're here. We talk all about beauty, fashion, lifestyles, and embracing life over 40. One of the questions that I get asked often is, what is your must-have go-to products? And I hesitate answering that only because I'm trying new products all the time, and so some do get switched out. But if I was to say, if I was on a deserted island and I could only take, a handful of products, what would I absolutely take as staples? That was an easier way for me to honestly answer this question. And I was able to really identify, okay, for aging, more mature skin, what really do I reach for every single day without fail? So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And it is a variety of products. So first and foremost, my hands down without fail is my sunscreen. And this is it's an oldie but a goodie, and it was actually referred to me years ago by a dermatologist office after I had had some work done, some IPL to remove some of the freckles that I had throughout the years. And this is an SPF of 50. And it's a drugstore sunscreen, and it's a little pricey. It retails for $45, and it's by La Roche, I believe is how you say it. And I use just 2 little drops of this every single day all over my face. You can see the consistency is a little bit runny. It does not give flashback in photos. I'm not going to put it on today because I have makeup on, but I will use it on the back of my hands. I have one of these in a little travel bag that I keep sort of packed all the time so that I never am without it. You can also order it on Amazon. I should mention that this video is not sponsored, so these are truly products that I reach for, honestly, that I pay for each and every day. But this is without fail, and it's been my staple for years. And it's an underrated product, I think. In fact, this whole line, they do have a body sunscreen that is 60% SPF that I absolutely love. It's definitely a little bit thicker, but I go outside in the sun with it and I don't feel like I freckled or colored at all. The other must-have is LUMIFY. If you have not tried this and you're able to without contacts or something, certainly it's by Bausch & Lomb. I love this product. So if you've never used LUMIFY, a few drops and it removes that sort of that redness in your eyes. First thing in the morning, I do it right after my sunscreen. I'll put in these eye drops, and it just, within a few minutes, I can't say instantly, but within a few minutes, the whites of your eyes are much more bright, and the red veins and sort of that tired look. I don't know if you guys have that. I definitely do. That gets rid of those that red color in your eyes, and I just feel like I have a much more youthful, bright, awake, alert look. So without fail, I definitely have that. Again, I have one in my travel bag, so I can just grab it and go if I'm staying the night somewhere and it's already packed in there. And then I always carry it in my van. Another go-to product is an oldie but goodie, and I think this has been certainly talked about on YouTube for a few years, but you can see by the look of the bottle that it is one that I honestly use, and this is the Age Rewind Concealer by Maybelline. It comes in a variety of colors. This color is ivory. Boy, if I had my glasses on, that would not have taken as long. But this is ivory. It comes with a sponge applicator. I don't dot it on with the sponge. I typically will just put it on my finger first and then get some product on my finger and then dab it where I want it. But this does not really seem to settle into wrinkles and fine lines as some other concealers. So it's a great price point. It's typically under $12.99 at the drugstore. But if you shop around, you can probably find it a little bit less expensive. Sometimes the Maybelline website has it for less than that. Next, let's talk about this little device. Now, many of you may be thinking, gosh, I've been looking at those for years. They look a little bit like a torture chamber, and I guess to some degree they probably are. I know my fiance watched me use this one day and he said, "What is that?" And he had this almost horrified look on his face, which I get it, right, if you've never used one. And the interesting thing about an eyelash curler to me is it's one of the tool that over how many decades has this thing not changed? There's been different versions of it in colors. Some materials have been plastic versus metal, but it really has not changed, but partly because I think it's a little effective. So not a little effective, it's a lot effective, which is why it's in this top 10 list. So if you've never used one, I would highly recommend getting one simply because of the lift that it gives your eyes from a full front view as well as from a side view, you definitely get, you can kind of see, I think, that the lift of your eyelash, and it does make a difference on the overall appearance of the brightness, and just, I think it just gives a bit of a more youthful look to the eye. So definitely would invest in one of these. You can find them anywhere, and they're typically, I wouldn't spend money on a high-end one. There's really been no difference in them. Some of them have a different curve through here, so you can kind of see like if your eye is a different shape or maybe longer or less curved, then that might be, you might want to just take a look at that size and keep that in mind. Otherwise, they're pretty much a one size fits all. But they range in price from, I've seen them as low as $4.99 at the drugstore to Chanel carries one. So there's some high-end ones that go all the way up to, I think, like $19.99. The next thing that I would absolutely not go without is this Bare Essentials Cultured Pearl. And I use this all the time. And the reason I like this is because I will always carry, one of the last things that I'll try to do with my makeup is when I'm finished with everything else, I'll take a little bit of it on usually on a pencil brush. This is just a Sigma E30. A little pencil brush, and then I'll just go right inside this little bit, that little V tear duct area, and outline it a bit. And it just gives a little bit of a brightness, and I'm doing it without a mirror, so if it looks crazy, bear with me. It just gives a little bit of a brightness to the under eye area, and sometimes I'll pull it out to meet where that dark line is. And that is just, it's one of those final touches that I do on my makeup every day. Another top 10 list that I wouldn't want to, or top 10 item that I wouldn't want to be without, and it doesn't necessarily have to be this brand. This happens to be an Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Any clear brow gel will work. In a pinch, or if you're in a hurry, or for summer, I may not even put on a brow pencil. I might just use this and just real quickly put my brows in the shape that I want them to be. And it's sort of like hairspray for your eyebrows. And you may be thinking, really, that's one extra step I probably don't need to do. But I would challenge you on that. I know from my experience anyway, it just is, as we get older, the eyebrows tend to get longer. We don't get more of them, but the ones that we do have, don't they seem to grow really fast? And I've seen pictures where some of my eyebrows, I'll have one or two of them that are like way down here. Good indication that it's time to trim them back. But if you use a little bit of this brow gel, it holds them in place throughout the day. And then you're not as fearful as those, having those photos come up that will then haunt you because your brows have taken on a life of their own. Another thing that I really do keep handy all the time, and I use it in the morning as I'm getting ready throughout the day, and then also it's in my overnight pack, is this Highbrow Glow by Benefit. The reason I like this is it's just a real light highlighter. It's not glittery. It's not a bunch of sparkles or shimmer in it. You can kind of see that if it'll reflect. I just like to finish my eyebrows with this little bit of a line underneath just to kind of clean them up when I'm done with everything else. So if you've watched my channel, you've probably heard me say before that when you used to color, you'd outline and then you'd color in the lines. That's what I think these final touches do to a more mature look, a more mature skin look. And I'll also do it across the top as well. Just instead of doing a bunch of crazy highlighting that can look really pretty, but on more mature skin, it can look misplaced, I think. For me, it does. So I like to use that just to kind of highlight instead of doing a whole bunch of highlighter. It just highlights the areas. And on occasion, I've actually used this to highlight just underneath my lip right through here. And I'd also highlight the V. And it brings a little bit more light to, so again, a multi-purpose use tool. It brings a little more light to the front of your face and makes your lips appear a little bigger if that's what you're interested in. Another item that I'm rarely ever without is this IT Cosmetics CC cream. This one is in neutral medium. This I love because it's an SPF of 50. I love using this because it's a nice, easy, light cream, good consistency. It doesn't tend to, it doesn't have an odor at all. This is probably the wrong color because it's on my hand, but it's a nice creamy consistency. I use it in place of my foundation, but still on top of my sunscreen, and it lays really nice with the sunscreen that I shared with you earlier today. So those two are always in my top drawer of my essentials that I get ready with every day. Again, this video is not sponsored. Good thing you didn't see that because all of it just fell on the floor. This video is not sponsored. These are products that I have paid for and use myself. And again, that CC cream is, it does say that it is color correcting illumination full coverage cream, anti-aging hydrating serum. I don't find that it's completely full coverage, but it's enough coverage that it covers up the imperfections that I like to hide without feeling full coverage to me. So you could probably layer this if full coverage is something that you're looking for. You know, another item that you may laugh at, but I have found these to be, clearly I use them, there's a hair in them. I love these things. These are the little clips that you can find, and I'll link these items all below. But these are the clips that you can find on probably Amazon. That's where I buy them. You can probably find them at the drugstore. And I do my hair usually first in the morning, and then I do my makeup. So these clips really do help pull your hair back without leaving crinks in your hair while you then apply your makeup. And if you're gonna, you know, do your makeup and bronzer way back here, or concealer, contour back up in here, then it does help pull your hair back without getting makeup on light blonde hair, and you don't want to add a touch of bronzer to your blonde hair, because that always is a dead giveaway that you've added some bronzer. So I love these things. I just think they pull your hair back nicely. Last, I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I use this, but my channel is all about being real in life over 40. So if you've never used this product, and there's probably other ones on the market, but this one I like. It's the Wow Beauty Root Cover Up. Now, I have this one in brown. Is it just brown? Medium brown. And you can see what that looks like. It's probably at its root, when you look at the ingredients and the way how finely it's milled, it's probably very similar to a brown eyeshadow. So if that's what you have, you could use that. It comes with a little brush. Now, typically this is used for covering up your grays. It has a real strong stippling brush and then a lighter, fluffier brush. And the instructions say to put it in, to dip your brush, find your gray, kind of stipple it with the smaller brush, and then brush it out with this bigger brush. And I have done that in a pinch, but really the reason I use this is as I'm aging, I'm finding that my hair feels a little bit thinner in the front. So, and I don't like looking at pictures of myself where I feel like a large amount of my scalp is showing. So I just take, same instructions, I just take this, get a little bit on the brush on the thicker, more stippled side, and then I will literally just kind of dab inside where I feel like that line is showing, where my scalp is kind of showing through. And if it covers up some gray in along the way, so be it. And then I just kind of brush it through. So I think that gives a much more youthful appearance for me personally. If I don't know if you're having that experience as you age or not, but I feel like my hair is definitely thinning. I've had it checked. It's no medical reasons. It's just the natural progression of life as we get older. But I prefer doing that, especially, I don't do that every day. Some days I'll just put on a hat and call it good. But I definitely would recommend this if you find that you're starting to thin a little bit up here. If it's too much, of course, obviously you might want to get that looked at just to ensure that there's no health reasons that's causing that hair loss. But mine is just, I've had it looked at and it's just natural. Now, what happens to us as we get older. So anyway, I hope you enjoy these tips. Those are my top 9 items. I think I said 10. I probably counted each of these as one if we're being truthfully counting 10. But they are all items that I carry with me all the time. And if they're helpful to you, I hope that they can be. So if you like this content or this type of a video, please hit the like button. And I'd love for you to be a subscriber if this is a channel that meets your needs and is enjoyable for you to watch. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.